couldn't squeeze it. Up ahead, behind the defense, it's James! LeBron added another poster to his all-time collection. He played against Jabari Smith Sr., and he just sunk Jabari Smith Jr.
LeBron James is 41 years old, dealing with sciatica and arthritis in his foot. He even missed the first 14 games of the season. Still, whenever he steps on the court, he's putting up more than 21 points, around 7 assists, and logging 33 minutes per game. At this point, you have to wonder, is this simply the result of an unmatched level of discipline and recovery, or is there something more behind it? What do you think? Do you believe LeBron's longevity comes purely from smart training and taking care of his body, or does it raise questions about the limits of human aging? Let's look at the facts first, because even without speculation, they are remarkable enough.
I told you that there was over 70 players born after your debut.
What if you told me there was over 70 players
You have a specific
born?
reaction?
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron James has now become the first player in NBA history to reach 23 seasons, surpassing the previous record of 22 set by Vince Carter. To put that into perspective, the benchmark for a 41-year-old scorer was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who averaged just 10 points per game at that age. LeBron, on the other hand, is putting up 21 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 7 assists while shooting 50% from the field and playing close to 33 minutes a night. That's not a small difference, it's a massive leap. 10 points versus 21. That gap defines the difference between what we used to expect from a player at 41 and what LeBron is currently delivering. And it's hard to believe that kind of separation comes down to green juices and mindset alone. Something is driving it. The real question is, what exactly is it? And that question has followed LeBron for years.
I know for the people, man, who are watching, what would this mean for LeBron James's legacy if this is true? If he's on this, Balco, this new juice. I want to know, man. Like the way he slipped it in, and he said it.
Control-Alt-Delete. Slip the what? Damn, relax.
Damn.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Damn. That was almost as bad as Darvin Ham when he said "whip it out." Huh?
Oh yeah,
that was crazy. My bad.
Crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But the way KG said it, and the way Paul Pierce reacted to it, it's kind of like, we knew about this. Like, he didn't say, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, there was no reaction to it.
Since the mid-2000s, it's been widely estimated that LeBron spends around $1.5 million each year on taking care of his body, funding a full team of specialists and cutting-edge recovery methods. That's the version people see and talk about, the polished narrative built around discipline and dedication. Cryotherapy, hyperbaric chambers, red light therapy, cold plunges, hot baths, optimized sleep, and nutrition tracked down to the smallest detail. It's all part of the story that gets shared across social media and praised in interviews that are in the starting 5 docuseries on Netflix. LeBron even addressed the rumors about his spending. He mentioned hearing the crazy numbers people throw around and said it makes him laugh. He didn't confirm an exact figure, but stressed that the real investment isn't just money, it's time. And the way he brushed it off suggested something else too, that whatever the true number is, it might be far beyond what most people imagine, to the point where revealing it would only spark even more questions.
The world understood what LeBron did. Like, other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player, and you're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
there's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to. But there's only one golfer that follows the big 3. The big 3 is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time, it doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood
EPO
what it
do?
did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
More
quarter
red blood
just like
cells,
you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your
minute.
red blood cells. Okay, got you.
It's the king of performance enhancement.
Here's what's publicly known about his routine: cryotherapy for faster recovery and reduced inflammation, hyperbaric chambers to boost oxygen flow and aid tissue repair, regular red light therapy, tightly controlled sleep with planned daytime naps, and constant attention to nutrition and hydration. None of this is secret, none of it is illegal, and all of it is accessible to any elite athlete with enough money. So the obvious question follows. If this blueprint is available, why isn't anyone else replicating what LeBron is doing at 41? Stephen Curry, at 37, is still elite but clearly navigating the natural effects of aging. Kevin Durant, now in his late 30s, has dealt with recurring injuries. Chris Paul, long known for his discipline and body maintenance, is no longer performing at an elite level. These are players with the same resources, the same access to trainers, recovery systems, and advanced technology. And yet, none of them are matching what LeBron is sustaining at this stage of his career.
Doncic is back in. Oh, LeBron! Oh! He reached back and then threw it down with the left hand. Yeah, it's alive. It's alive.
From a physiological perspective, the science is pretty clear. Explosive strength, speed, and power usually peak between ages 25 and 30, then gradually decline. LeBron has definitely lost a step in terms of raw quickness and verticality. His movement speeds on both offense and defense have dipped slightly over the past decade, but has offset that with something far rarer, elite basketball intelligence. That's the strongest and most reasonable explanation for his longevity. He's reshaped his game to reduce physical strain while staying effective. His positioning is sharper, his anticipation is quicker, and his decisions are more calculated. At 41, he isn't trying to play like his 25-year-old self, he's playing a more efficient, controlled version of the game that still produces elite results. But then there's the part that doesn't neatly fit that explanation, the dunks. After missing the first 14 games of the season, he returned averaging over 22 points, 5.7 rebounds, and nearly 7 assists. And he's still finishing above the rim. Not just occasional moments, but real, in-game dunks, at 41, with sciatica, foot arthritis, and more mileage than almost anyone in league history. LeBron himself has acknowledged the reality of his age. When a reporter recently told him he didn't look 41 on the court, he cut in and said, "Look at my birth certificate." December 30th, 1984. He knows exactly what he is, and what he's doing. By the usual standards of athletic aging, it shouldn't look like this. And yet, it does. Questions around the past haven't completely disappeared either. The biogenesis scandal, which shook Major League Baseball and implicated players like Alex Rodriguez, also produced documents that mentioned individuals connected to LeBron's circle, not LeBron himself, but people close enough to keep the conversation alive. Even without direct charges, that kind of proximity tends to linger, leaving questions that, for some, were never fully resolved.
You guys know what a dry snitch is? Have you heard that term? A dry snitch is a lingo on the streets. And you know what a rat is. A rat is somebody that gets in a jam, but if they have information on somebody that's bigger, you can take the cheese, you can give that information up, you can get yourself out. Okay. But a dry snitch is where you're not in a jam, there's nothing on the table, and you just offer a guy up. You just offered him up. And I gotta tell you, so a couple of months ago, I did Andrew Schultz's show, and the topic of LeBron James had come up. LeBron James and EPO.
Then there's Chael Sonnen. Sonnen is a former professional MMA fighter and longtime commentator who has also served a suspension in the past for performance-enhancing drug violations.
Later, I'm on Andrew Schultz, and man, this guy, he's taking EPO. We got the same dealer.
Chael Sonnen has never been known for holding back, and that reputation carried over when he spoke about LeBron on a podcast. He claimed that the two of them have the same guy, even referencing EPO, the endurance-enhancing substance tied to major cycling scandals. Sonnen's point wasn't framed as a shocking accusation, but more as what he as an obvious conclusion, maintaining that level of size, endurance, and performance at 41 seems difficult to explain without some kind of assistance. That naturally brings attention to the NBA's testing system. The league operates as a business, and LeBron James has been one of its most valuable assets for years. It's not unreasonable to argue that there could be an incentive to maintain a testing program that appears credible without being overly aggressive. That's less about conspiracy and more about how large organizations tend to protect their biggest stars at the same time. The on-court reality is more complicated than just individual brilliance. Even while LeBron continues to average over 21 points, the Lakers have struggled in certain lineups. The trio of LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves has actually been outscored in their shared minutes this season, suggesting that strong individual numbers don't always translate into team success the way they seem to on paper. Former teammates, however, consistently back up one part of the story, the work. Jordan Clarkson recently described it as crazy to watch LeBron still performing at this level, emphasizing the early mornings, late nights, film study, and relentless commitment to conditioning. Nobody who has been around him questions the effort or discipline. It's universally acknowledged. Financially, there are also strong incentives for LeBron to keep playing. Reports in early 2026 suggested he could earn tens of millions from streaming rights tied to a potential farewell tour, on top of endorsements and media ventures that already far exceed his NBA salary. Staying active keeps the spotlight on him, and that spotlight carries enormous value. Every game, every milestone, every season adds to a narrative worth hundreds of millions. Ultimately, the question that may answer everything won't come until after he retires. Historically, athletes suspected of using performance enhancers often undergo noticeable physical changes within a couple of years away from competition. If LeBron's body and performance profile shift dramatically after retirement, people will draw conclusions. If they don't, that will fuel a different kind of conversation. For now, though, the reality remains the same. At 41, LeBron is still playing heavy minutes, producing elite numbers, and finishing above the rim. Whether the explanation is unmatched discipline, cutting-edge recovery, extraordinary genetics, or something more complex, there's no clear consensus. The birth certificate says 41. The performance suggests something else. And until there's a definitive answer, the debate isn't going anywhere.